Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to create a 5th edition player character. I have a number of friends who have started to try Dungeons and Dragons or a series of role-playing. A lot of them have very similar ways to create characters. Dungeons and Dragons was the first really big tabletop RPG. I remember playing it when I was young. And I use that term knowing that I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons for for 30 years at this point. A lot of experience. Dragons, I have played Shadowrun, I have played all of the old World of Darkness, I have played a couple of the new World of Darkness. That's Vampire the Masquerade, Changeling, I forget what they called it, Werewolf, and Hunters. And in the new world, I've done Werewolf. What do they call it? Vampire, the two Vampire and Werewolf. I've also played, I don't know if it counts, but Robotech is reaching. Mech Warrior, there's been an RPG Mech Warriors. I have not done Star Wars. I'd love to do that. You should be. I think it should just be a spreadsheet. No game, just a spreadsheet. Nothing big. I've also played, I cannot think of the name of it. Hold on, real quick. Cannot think. Oh, I've done Call of Cthulhu. I've done GURPS, a couple of them. I've done Greyhawk. I've done Dark Sun. I've done Deadlands once. I've also done one more, and I cannot think of the name of it, and I apologize ahead of time. But it's a very anime fantasy. Sure, I will think about it, later. That is the way it goes. We're going to focus on Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. If you are using this on YouTube, I said, if you're streaming this live, always come out and check me out on Twitch. Appreciate it. If you're here live and you are making a character, I recommend a pencil with a good eraser and your sheet in front of you as we go through the steps. If you're using this on YouTube, feel free to pause when needed. And again, a character sheet in front of you, and a pencil with a good eraser because you will be erasing. My first tip is no matter what level you start a campaign at, some people start at level 1, some people start at level 5, or 10, or 15, I've even played a campaign, started at level 20 and went up from there. And yes, it is possible to do that. Level 20 is usually the max, but you can go higher. But always make your character at level 1. Much easier to make a level 1 character and just do the steps going up than it is to try to make a level 20 character. Or 5 or 10 or... Okay? The other tip, some nomenclature, phrasing that's usually is the word 4d6. The D stands for dice. Number is the number of sides of dice. If I say I'm using 1d4, that means 1 4-sided dice. If I say 5d10, 5 10-sided dice. Have to keep that in mind. I'll be mostly d6, and most of the game is based off of using a d20, the 1 20-sided dice. Usually do pass or fail checks or stuff like that. Weapons can range from d4s, so d4s all the way up to d12s. I have very rarely seen a d20 or a d100. Yes, there is a 100-sided die. And there are programs that let you calculate on 1,000. The other thing I would suggest is most people like to use the physical dice because they know you're not cheating. I am going to be using a program called Quick Dice Roller to calculate my dice rolls when we get to dice rolling, if we do that. So I can recommend that one. Talk to DM about what you're going to use. I definitely suggest making your character with your DM, or at the very least, make your character, make a couple of backup characters, and see which one he will let you use. And definitely check before you start your DM which characters you use before you start the game. All DMs have their own little house rule works. That is one of the things I will stress. I've also been a DM for a very long time. Dungeon Master, Game Master, whatever you want to call it. Storyteller, that sort of thing. I just use the term DM as the guy who runs the game. I've been doing it long enough to understand that everything in the player's handbook is a guide. But as long as you are consistent with what you decide are the rules at the table for the campaign, and stick with those for the entirety of the campaign, that is just... Alright? So the first thing you should always do when you sit down is have a general idea of what you want to do for a character. You don't even have to have a backstory. Just, I want to be a human wizard, or a dwarf cleric, an elf fighter, or dragonborn race. That's all you have to have. Go from is it. You don't even have to have that if you don't want to. You just have, I want to be a dragonborn. I want to be a ranger. Randomize it, or, take your time, flip the races, and decide. Those are the things you should at least have generally a good idea. Class and your race. Or ideally your race and then your class. So what we're going to make for our first way, we are going to do this 3 different times. Different methods. The first method we're going to use, unless it's your first time playing, you're a DM, I would suggest using this method. Otherwise, there are other common methods, but this method is basically you're giving your stats. Dungeon Master or Game Master have a 16D, 10s, 12s, and a 14. Or, alright, you can have a 10, an 8, a 9. He's basically telling you what your stats are, and these always form the base of your character. Stats are always strength, dex, con, and intelligence. Like I said, these stats form the base of your character. This example, the DM has given us a 16. That in here. 14, 12, a 12, and 2 10s. Right? These are our base stats. This is what we're starting. You've decided we're gonna be Bob, fighter. Nope. That is what we are making. Fighters usually like using strength, so quick rundown of the stats. Some of these are obvious. Okay. Strength is how physically strong you are. Dexterity is not only your reflexes, okay, how physically coordinated. So, dancers, rogues, and with fast reflexes, hunters generally have a lot. Constitution generally refers to how much physical damage you can take, how strong-willed you are, that's intelligence. Wisdom and charisma are a little bit more nebulous. Intelligence is not only book smarts, but how fast you figure things out, how they work. Wisdom is general knowledge and how you perceive the world around you, how you interpret it. Best example I can usually think of is someone with a very high intelligence and a very low wisdom would instantly look at a stove and know how it works and the piece to it, but they might burn their hands a couple of times before they realize we should put our hand on this. A person with very high wisdom but low intelligence doesn't know how a stove works. Just as long as it does. But just by looking at it, he they know I am not going to put my hand on that when it's running because I will burn this. Okay. Generally, strength is for fighters or people with physical damage. Dex is for coordinated people, constitution, how many hits you can take. Intelligence is generally used for wizards. You know, wizards and warlocks. I might have to check me on that. So, things along that nature. Wisdom is usually clerics. Charisma is usually. Oh, sorry. And charisma is basically. It's not. A lot of people just assume physical look, and it's more than that. Yes, it can be physical, but it can also be your strength of will and how well you can enforce that will on the world around. Not necessarily your willpower, but just how well you can talk people into things, or just, you know, using your willpower, bend it to you. Sorcerers and bards, charisma, find examples of that in real life in con men, politicians, that sort of thing. Right, so, like I said, we're making a human fighter. His name is Bob. We're going. Very first thing you want to do, focus on the stats. In this case, the game has given us our points for the stats. It will always be 0 and 20 when start. If any stat is 0, you're dead. That in mind, you always want it above 0. And 10 is the average. So now that we know our base stats, the next thing we figure out, like I said, we're not looking at class. Haven't looked at our race yet. I mean, we know what we are, but we haven't looked at any information with that. That's good. That's all we figured out. We figured out where we want things. Boom, we're done. Right? Now we go on to the next step. Look at our class and our race. All we're going to look at if our race affects our base stats. Usually, every race has a plus and a minus. Example is a half orc increases 4 by 2, your strength by 2, and your constitution by 1. Dwarves, I believe, increase your constitution by 2. Dragonborn, it used to be a Dragonborn. Increase your strength by 2 and your charisma by 1. Gnomes, I believe. Gnomes, your intelligence by 2. That will affect the score. We picked a human. They give you a lot of rules for humans. We're going to use one where it says each stats of my choice. We're going to turn this into a wisdom into an 11, and our constitution. Boom, that's what we're doing. We look at that score, have our numbers. That is the important. These are our final numbers. All we're messing with now. Now we're going to figure out a bonus from each of the numbers. 10, 0, 11, 0, 1, 1, 4. I set them up specifically in this order because I want you to take a look at how we figure out the bonus. Notice 10 and 11, 10 is the average, it gives no. Go up by 1 and 11, still 0. Gone up by 12, now we've gone up to 13 is 1. Now we go up from 12 to 14, now it's 14 to 16 puts our bonus 3. So what does this tell us? It tells us starting from 10, every time we go up by 2, and increase the bonus by 1. 12 is 1, 14 is 3, 18 is 4, 20 is 5, 22 is 6, so on and so forth. If I were to change his charisma to an 8 for some reason, -1. Show it. Okay, good, it showed it. A -1. What does that tell us? That means from 10, every time we go down by 2, our bonus decreases by 1. 8, -1, 2, 4 is -3. And like I said, if you get down to 0 in any single stat, you're dead. Right? So that is helpful for calculating things. Once you learn it, it sticks in your head. However you want to remember that, that is up to you. I do breakpoints of, alright, every time I start at 10, every time I go up by 2, I increase my bonus by 1. That's how I do it. Very simple, it works for me. Now that we have our bonuses, again, we're not going to look at anything else. We have our bonuses. That help us? Well, it'll help us figure out our saves. What saves are is if I'm making a someone attacks me with a fireball, I have to make a dex save to reduce that damage. If I'm falling off a cliff, hit the floor, I might have to make a Constitution save to reduce that damage. These are basically things to use to, reduce damage, that sort of thing. Or they can be for checks. Well, actually, no. Checks usually great bonus. That's what they are. So that's what saves are. Okay? So our strength bonus is 3. Perfect. Next bonus is on 1. Intelligence. Perfect. That's all we're looking at. Those numbers. There's passive perception. That is basically if we're just sitting around not paying attention, how much do we notice the world? 0, 11, 0. So our passive perception 0. I believe on the actual your character sheet, it is just listed as it's listed as passive wisdom. Passive perception is the same thing. Right? So basically, if I'm just sitting here minding my own business, and a bird flies into my vision, what are my chances of actually noticing? Okay. Okay, so our wisdom is 0, passive perception is 10. We're not looking at anything else, which is bonuses, figure out some of our stats. Next, initiative. How fast I'm going to go in combat. First one to act, last. Based off our dex. Right, our bonus is 2. Our initiative right now is 2. Okay. Next we look at skills, and you'll notice I have set it up differently. Your sheet, they have they just have an alphabetical order. I have organized it by what stat they're based off of. So strength, dex, intelligence, and alphabetical. So our strength, that means our athletics. Right? So our dexterity, 2 bonus is that in there. Our intelligence bonus is 1. That in there. Particular skills, our wisdom bonus is 0. That in there. Charisma bonus. Let's throw that in. These are our base stats. All we've done. Put our stats where we think would best suit our character. Check out their bonuses. Excuse me. Plug these numbers in where they go. Okay? And we've looked at our race to see if it's modified. All we've done. Alright, so now we've got our base numbers. We're not going to make any adjustments yet. Okay, so we've looked at our race, human. Right, those are our base stats. Hold on. So, and I believe that is all they get. Yep. You can, again, when you're making a character, I expect you to have the book with you. And it gives you general ages, alignment, sizes, languages. You can figure all that out with your DM. This is just your basic. Okay? For a class fighter. So the next thing we're going to do is go to our class. There we go, fighter. Right? Now we're going to see what our proficiency bonus has a little Sure, its efficiency bonus is, so we're going to plug that in. Now what this is going to affect is our saves right here. Saving throws in our proficiency bonus at level 2 is to any skill that we are okay. Actually, no, that's all we're going to look. So, proficiency bonus is fine. Got that. The other thing we're going to look at is our hit dice. Fighter's a 1d10. And usually what most DMs do is at level 1, you get your hit dice, and then you add your con bonus. Con bonus is 1, so that means we have a hit point. Boom. So now we've got our proficiency bonus and our hit point. Okay. Next thing we're going to look at, armors, weapons, tools. Don't need to worry about that. You can figure that out with your DM, and it actually just tells you what your these are things you automatically know. Next it says saving throw. What this means is my strength saving throw hits my proficiency bonus. So my base save is 3. Proficiency 2. That means if I roll a d20 to make a strength save, I'm getting a total of 5. Write this. Enter. Run it live, folks. Right, and Constitution. Again, efficiency bonus is 2. Our base bonus, just our Constitution, that is 1, so our total is 3. There we go. 0, 0, 0. Right? That's how we figure that out. Right? Next thing to look at is our skills. It did choose 2 and it gives you a list. I'm going to choose again bonus. Right, so I'm going to choose athletics. So efficient is a choice, and I'm going to say insight. I'm going to put a proficiency in that. We'll 2 for that. A 5 for that. So if I roll an athletics check, i.e. running, climbing, swimming, that sort of thing, I add 5 to the roll. If I roll an insight check, for whatever reason, trying to figure out if someone's lying to me, I can add a 2 to the again. Wisdom bonus is 0. Efficiency bonus is 2. Total is 2. You can just do the math all the way down. That's it. After that, talk with your GM. You can round out your character with history if you want, equipment, skill, that sort of thing, specializing, whatever you want, but going over that with your GM to make sure it fits the world you two want to create together. That is the most basic, simple way to. Then from there, you can just go hog wild, create backstories, equipment, do different, that sort of thing. I will say, really good feat to start with are, if you're ever not quite sure what feat to pick, one I usually recommend is Alert, as it gives a +5 to your initiative. And if you want to have fun, where is it? Skilled. Allows you to gain proficiency in any 3 skills of your choice, or 2. That means if I choose Skilled, I could have a fighter. Where is... I could, pick Stealth or that sort. It's just a fun one to pick. So if you're ever unsure what to pick, those are 2 never go wrong. Skilled and Alert. Other than that, like I said, talk to him, figure out your backstory for your character, and go. I am going to put a button here. About 30 minutes long. Part 1 I'm going to do the same thing in part 2 and part 3, but with different character methods. The videos might run. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, feel free to watch this video with in front of you and a pencil and a good eraser. Go through, figure out, like I said, steps are very easy. First, you figure out your base stats, your GM. Again, sit down, figure out what race and class you want. From there, figure out your base stats. Don't look at anything else. Figure them out. Alright, what race am I? That to modify those. Stop. Don't look at anything else. Figure out your bonuses. Fill in your saves based on those bonuses. Initiative and your skills. Okay? Then, once you've done that, go to your class, follow the steps, figure out your proficiency bonus, your hit points, and use that information to figure out your final total for your saves, skills. And after that, come up with a backstory. Maybe pick a specialization if your class is specialization, equipment, and feat. You want to have fun with it. Then, once you're done at level 1, it's very easy to just follow the chart as a fighter. You go up to level 2, or 3, or 4, all the way up to 20. You just go, alright, I'm level 2, so now I get an action. Alright, I'm level 3, now I can choose a martial art type. I'm level 4, I get a feat / or an ability score improvement. Sort of thing. Now I'm level 5, alright, I get an extra. So that sort of thing. Very easy to step up, but it's much easier to just start with the level 1 and then work your way up to whatever level you're gonna be watching. Always, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Feel free to come by. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, or follow, or come on over and check me out on Twitch when I'm live. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.